Well, thank you very much for all our lecturers, the person that has been here, really nice friends. So I think this cannot be clearer. The first line with Nuria, with our friends in Europe and Latin America, we are a really huge network. We are sharing information, and I think that the first line is the first line of action. So I think it's clear enough now. Now I'm going to ask two questions, to talk about two questions, and I'm going to make a third question also. So basically it's a question for all of you. So let's suppose that a user wants to analyze a substance that wants to take and it finds pollution. If he wants to have a pure substance, what is the stance of the group regarding substance use? What would you say when substance is not the one that the person wants to take? And the question for the four of you, and one that it comes for Christian and for Dan is repeated, says, have you had any kind of pressure from the illegal world, from the underworld, some kind of harassment from them? And also another question, have you perceived any campaigns or strategies related with the smearing of the substances? Are there some actions taken by people to attack this? And in this way, how do you react to this? Those would be the three questions, and I will give you the floor. Let's start with Julian, and then we continue. And I will excuse for reading three questions strongly worded with street inhabitants and those projects that have been done in these countries. This was tackled in the humanitarian consumption territories and also in bazooka consumption for cannabis for attention of bazookas. So maybe in the other expositions when they are online you can have the answer, as I guess you can find them. So let's start with Julian. So first things first, as you have seen the strategy of reduction to bring this is the strategy of self-management first. So for a user that has been with a substance, maybe the substance is not the one that he wants to have, but there can be two cases. Maybe first with the analysis that the preliminary analysis, we can find what is the substance, and in this case we can inform the user what is the substance, what are the kind of risks related. It's going to have the same effects, and also maybe, for example, for a substance that cannot be recognized in the place. So maybe we cannot consume it because we don't know which is the substance that has been taken, or the substance that is polluting the sample we have. That will be our stance. Okay. Regarding security, safety, we're talking about the types of dealers that we have had. We haven't had problems so far. Even we have identified many of these people come to our stands saying that they don't know what they are acquiring, what they are distributing. And in this way, we have found that we have made that many of these substances that could have been distributed in a party are not delivered, not sold, because we didn't find the substance that was supposed to be delivered. This talking about the échele cabeza, about think about it. So I think that in Cambia, that is the other, that is for injectable, we have had an approach from dealers given mostly to the characteristic of the consumers that they have. So they are quite jealous. They're jealous about their consumers. They don't want to be mixed with other dealers due to commercial issues. Some of them have come to the facilities of the project, and we have talked with them, and we have said what is the thing that we are doing, how are they working, and that is only a different approach in terms of keeping the health of the users. That our idea is not to tamper, is not to deal, not to mess with their commercial affairs. Regarding smearing, we haven't had something difficult, dangerous in this case. We had an institutional campaign. I cannot remember where was it from. Some people maintain the image of the project, and with the image, with the same elaboration of communication pieces, they try to camouflage the same prohibitionist message and terrorist message that we have with drugs. So that was the experience we had in Colombia. It was a strategy, institutional strategy that copied a lot of the communicative approach and the model of the image that we use as a project to involve some elements regarding drug consumption. So, for example, can be something like, think about it, put your mind into it, and from that on, they try to do the same, but with a message totally the opposite from what we do. If we identify that the substance is not what the person was looking for, and we identify which other substance is, we talk about the implications of this substance, what effects are we waiting for, and the dosage, and like, for example, if we know something about substance, if we can say that, we do. If we can't, we don't. In that case, we said it's like if you just found a pill on the street, on the floor, and you just take it. If you take it, you take the risk. You are assuming the risks. But our suggestion is not to do it. But if the person wants to do it, it's fine by them. We are not going to say that it's going to be bad, but maybe the person is going to come back later. We would appreciate if the person comes back later and explains all the effects. And if she tries to take it, if she wants to take it, maybe to start with a small dose. So that is coming that every person does to its hard content. Every person does whatever they want to do. So we want to set that clear, and each person takes its own responsibilities. In the second question regarding safety, in Mexico we have a really critical situation, a delicate situation, in which party spaces we have presence from cartels. So those are massive spaces, big festivals, all around 10,000 people and more. They have specific dealers, some specific people selling, and the ones that are not are taken out, and they have problems, etc. So as we have more and more people, they don't want problems to be so scandalous, so they want the violence to be outside. But we have some kind of pressure. We have some people that can be difficult to work with. So we are working with some spaces that we have some direct face-to-face interaction with the organizers. So we want to be in one event at least per month. I have a lot of friends, but those are events where we know the people in phase, we know them personally, we know that they aren't going to have police officers, they're going to have private officers. But for example, as we know, the police officers are also one of the main sources of drug dealers in Mexico, which is a really harsh, a really bad reality. But if we have police officers, there is going to be drugs, mostly federal policies. And for this reason, so who is going to receive the money, what is going to happen? So we want to be in events like closed events, which is mostly like the electronic psychedelic music. And about the summonings, what we want to do it very close, very tight, close with the NGOs with which we work. And so everything is very under the table, everything is delivered to these offices, but we want to do it as silent as possible. I mean, we want to be really careful because we don't know where the information is going to. Anyway, information through internet is really relative, so it's complicated to use. But if somebody is keen on the information, he's going to know. But we try not to bother. We try to be very neutral. We want to talk always about not raising fingers or pointing at someone. We just try to be very tactful. We don't want to create any bad repercussions. And we got the third question, if we have had smearing campaigns. No, we haven't had. Thankfully, we haven't been so visible, or we haven't been for so long, so that people start saying, okay, be careful with what you do. We have been able to harmonize, and we have been able to have a really nice dialogue with people that have felt their business affected. Dealers, independent dealers, that maybe they have come and they have seen that maybe what has happened, or somebody has complained. But always, when we provide a result, we said, please do not complain to your dealer. If you want to throw the pill, it's okay. If you want to take it, it's okay. Please don't sell it to anybody else. But if you're going to sell it, tell the person that you analyzed the pill and you found something. So it's to try people to be honest, that the people to have common sense and to think about things, and to plant these seeds, like the empathy, to think about your family, about your connections, your groups, to have like a minimum amount of wordness for the people that are with you and with the people that are around you too. So explain this preoccupation to the drug dealers, to everybody. So we seldom have had problems with that. So we have been able to avoid complaints. We have talked with them too, but there hasn't been a loose end that is looking for us and is trying to drop us dead. I hope that doesn't happen. Voy a empezar con la última parte de los narcotraficantes. No tenemos problemas con narcotraficantes, al contrario. Ellos tratan de beneficiarse de nuestra red también, haciendo que las drogas sean analizadas por nuestra red. Entonces, no tenemos problemas con ellos, y probablemente sea hasta bueno que la forma que se hacen las cosas, porque a veces los dealers y los productores no saben qué es lo que están produciendo, no saben qué es lo que están haciendo. Entonces, probablemente eso sea efectivo. Entonces, en ese caso no hemos tenido problemas con los dealers. Problemas con las instalaciones que tenemos, no hemos tenido problemas de seguridad, porque son oficinas específicas y están muy bien, entonces no hemos tenido problemas con eso. A veces tenemos unos usuarios que están un poquito agitados, que pues llegan ahí por una semana o algo, pero pues eso es lo que pasa. Y con respecto a polutantes, digamos que, como decía Borun antes, ustedes simplemente quieren tener esas drogas analizadas, el resultado depende de ustedes si ustedes quieren utilizarlas o no. Entonces, si hay una dosis bastante alta de polutantes, por ejemplo, de formaldehído, anfetamina, hay cierto porcentaje, le sugerimos que no lo use, pero si usted dice, bueno, jódanse, ¿cuál la voy a usar? Lo hacen, depende de ellos, y pues pequeñas dosis les decimos, porque por ejemplo la metanfetamina deja pequeñas trazas en diferentes sustancias. Tiene pequeñas trazas de sustancia siempre, que pues no hace mucho daño, pero pues si quieren usar la sustancia como tal, si tienen polutantes altos o algo, depende de ellos, no hay problema con eso.
Por la primera pregunta, yo
well, for the first question, it's everything the same. For the people that have people that come and provide substances to us and they want to have them analyzed, they want to have information regarding those substances, and that's what we do. We provide them information, and well, that's it. It's up to the person who decides if it's going to take this substance or not. The second question regarding dealers. In Switzerland, there are no parties where you see dealers, but they are outside. They are like in the parking lot. So they don't let dealers to enter. As I always said, we work a lot together with the security personnel, the security staff. So they accept us. They know that we are going to analyze the substance that we have in the party, but they also see that there is no access to dealers. And the last question. What was the last question?
Entonces,
so,
como les mostré,
as I was mentioning before, we had the four cornerstones of drug policies. So in terms of policy, we always have these discourse. We have people that say that what we are doing is wrong and that we are promoting drug consumption. So it's the discourse that we have always had with these people, with politicians. But to see this in the field and we are working, no, thankfully no, there's no people that is bothering us. Well, thank you very much for our lecturers, a really nice lecture. Thank you so much for everybody that is here with us. We're going to have 10 minutes and then we're going to start with one of the most important panels, because after work, talking 3 days about drugs, it's really important to know which is the public context of policies that we are using, because all that we are doing works with public policies. Everything has to deal with innovations and public policies, and we know that there is going to be a football match. Okay, we're going to continue as we're going to have a football match.
Y la estación de café va a estar abierta y mientras tanto nos vamos instalando y vamos dándole seguilla.